All conservatives are idealists. Regardless of the level of change a conservative is willing to accept, supporting a stagnant status quo is a hopeless and inevitable ignorance. Not only will I prove how conservatives are against human nature, but I will also be proving how the left is way more realistic in their ideas of the future. To prove this conclusion, I must first explain how conditions come before ideas. Our firstborn human ancestors grew within their world, and from that moment onward were influenced only by everything they saw. They could not perceive a world beyond what was not already there. This means that to us modern people, everything around us to this day is a result of the material conditions of those before us. And a way I can prove this is to ask those skeptical to imagine a color that does not already exist. You really can't. So how can we really be influenced by anything that does not actually exist? Colors have a lot of meaning to us. Scientifically, certain colors can cause reactions in our brains, and to this day, colors are associated with specific characteristics, such as red being anger and purple being royalty. So imagine how different our world would be if a non-existent color existed, what it would mean to those who perceive it, and how it would shape our world. I more or less explained a part of dialectical materialism. According to Oxford Languages, dialectical materialism would suggest that political and historical events result from the conflict of social forces and are interpretable as a series of contradiction and their solutions. The conflict is believed to be caused by material needs. Because there are always new conditions from new ideas from prior conditions, this demonstrates that human nature is always progressing and evolving. Society, culture, politics, and individuals are all concepts created under the human condition at their core. This relationship between construct and human is inseparable. This means that humans at the core will always change, since new generations and even existing ones will be constantly evolving with their current conditions, therefore introducing new conditions continuously. So what is idealism, and how are conservatives idealistic? Encyclopedia Britannica explains idealism for us, a diverse group of metaphysical views which all assert that reality is some way indistinguishable or inseparable from human perception and understanding, that it is in some sense mentally constituted or otherwise closely connected to ideas. While dialectical materialism does talk about a relationship between the material world and material ideas, there is a difference between this and idealism. Material conditions are objective. They are not metaphysical or immaterial. They shape our subjectivity of thought. Conservatives are idealists because they believe that their thoughts and beliefs somehow have a material effect on the ever-changing condition of human nature. Here is a metaphor. Let's say that progress is the color red. If the opposite of progress is conservation, then one may think the opposite of red might be green or blue. But red is pure progress, the embracement of radical progression that cannot be standstill. So if conservatism was to have a color, that color must still contain red. This is because conservatism is always affected by the progression that upsets them in the first place. A progressive getting upset at a conservative and a conservative getting upset at a progressive are two different things for two different reasons. Progressives get upset at conservatives because conservatives are slowing progress down. Conservatives get upset at progressives because they are in denial of how inevitable progress is, forever tempted to progress, drowning in an inevitable and pitiful attempt to cling onto all they deem as worth holding onto. This is why, if conservatism was to have a color in my metaphor, it would have to contain red. Most ironic of all, many conservatives are oblivious to the fact that the things they wish to conserve were once progressive and radical ideas. While conservatives can barely comprehend progressive ideas such as social democracy, the most radical communists are already advocating for their goals while simultaneously being aware that their communism will eventually be conservative should their society be achieved. Communists will eventually be the conservatives, and the conditions of communist society will give way to a new system that people will advocate for. From primitive societies to slave societies, from feudalists to capitalists, and from capitalists to communists, from states of sovereignty to disciplinary societies, and from societies of control to communal societies, and so on, etc., etc. This is the beauty of progression, and the irony of conservatives. All conservatives are idealists. All conservatives are against human nature.